This video describes working with related items in Clarizen. And related items on a project or a task include all of the resources, emails, notes, files, customers, all the items that are related to that project or task. And here we've opened a project, and we're on the view we're looking at is QTS Current Project, which should be the default view when you click a project to open it. And that has some of the most useful columns. And we notice here that we have some files, we have notes and emails that are associated with the project and the different tasks here. To get to related items, there are really a couple of different ways, and one is the flyout menu here on the right is your related items area. And we see here there's one file, 12 emails that have occurred during the project, one customer, resources, and so on, and notes. And we can add a related item here. That's one way. We can also view them if I wanted to view all the notes. You see here there's an arrow to expand this area, and I can view them all here. And I see all the different notes that people have entered. You'll notice that the first note that gets added to a new project when it comes from Salesforce is the technical contact for the work order. That automatically comes in from Salesforce, and that is so that anybody that's working on this order has the ability to reach out to the technical contact if they have any routine operational questions they might want to ask. So if you're working on something at night or over a weekend, I don't really have to wait until Monday for the SAM to come back in. You can go ahead and reach out to the customer with a simple question you might have. We will collapse this area and take a look at a couple of other ways. We see if I were to click on one of these areas, I could see them. Let's click here and look at emails. I can also compose an email. And the third method is over here in the menu, add related. So pretty much to get to related items, there are basically three different methods, and you can use whichever one you like. Just click on the column here to add a note or file, or use the flyout menu on the right, or use add related. They all really do the same thing. Adding files, what we want people to do is don't add files, you're going to add a link to a file on SharePoint. And that's for two reasons. One is just for space considerations, but also if you link to the file on SharePoint, anytime that file is updated, the person using the project always gets to the most recent version. And the way to link to a file on SharePoint is you're going to use web page link. Don't use shortcut, use web page link. And let me just switch over here to SharePoint here, and I've opened the client folder. And here's the diagram that I want to link to, or project workbook or whatever it might be. I just right-click on that item and say Copy Shortcut. All right, switch back over to Clarizen again. And here where I'm in my Add File dialog, I have Web Page Link. I'm going to paste that URL. I can give it a friendly name or just accept the default. I'm going to call it Cage Diagram. And you can add a description if you want to, and then save. So that way now anybody who's working on the project has a link to the most recent version of the Cage Diagram. For notes, you'll note that the notes can be formatted. If you copy, I have some information that was an Excel spreadsheet. I copied that. If I paste that, it will come into Clarizen formatted. and then there's email. And we'll do a couple of different ways to do emails. And the simplest method is to highlight the item that you want to email about and click the email drop down here. And some default address lists are the entire team, task managers, resources reviewers. You can also use email to and select specific people. You can search for specific people, or you can just, or multiple people, or you can just type an email. And again, you'll notice that the email can be formatted. You can use, bold, italics, underlines, bullets, and so on. So you can get some nice formatting. If you've set up your signature block in Clarizen, your signature will automatically be added, and that's in your user profile in Clarizen. I'll close that. When you send this email, your email is automatically attached to the project or task, and when the recipients reply to all, their reply is automatically attached to the project or task. If you're a project manager or resource manager, if you highlight a task or a project and you send update a request, all the people on that task or project will get an email asking them to update their status. And to kind of put all this together, how this really helps the team is if you look at utilities, you see there's a collaboration view, and this is a view where anyone working on the project can see all of the tasks, the notes, the emails, the attachments, and so on that have occurred in this project. So it really helps the team to collaborate and communicate with one another about what's going on. If I can select an individual item and expand that. I can see all the emails that went on initially, and I can also expand all and see all of them, all of the notes, files, and emails. And, of course, you can print this whole list out. And just one thing to mention is if you go into collaboration view on a project and you don't see any notes, files, or attachments, check your settings. When you click the settings box up here on the right, you should see all of these items checked. And if they're not checked, just check them and leave them. You can clear this show me this dialog next time. Just leave everything checked, and that way you will be sure to see all of the items on any project or task you look at. And that concludes related items.